Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, and we are here to go over the PGA event this week, which is at the American Express tournament at PGA West that begins Thursday the 21st and runs through Sunday, of course. And I am joined here by the golf wonder himself that can golf both righty and lefty, Mr. Andrew Hansen. How are you today, Andrew?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Coach. You know, that is true. But the last couple of weeks, you've been the man with PGA lineups off to a hot start in this 2021 calendar year.
Hey, I'll take it. I got the long drives going, the putter's hot, and enjoying watching golf. I'll tell you, I always love this stretch, the Hawaii and California and even Arizona, that whole group of tournaments before they get to Florida. I've always enjoyed them. I enjoy watching them. I think it's because of the time difference. You can watch them at a completely different time frame because of it's on in the West. So good stuff though, and this is a great event, a full field, really busy tournament here. Again, it's the American Express. It's played on two courses, correct?
That's right. And I'll break those down. And by the way, as we're just getting ready for the overview here, I'm
Yeah,
glad you said that your putter's hot because the players we pick this week, their putters are going to need to be hot. This is
definitely.
usually a birdie fest. So get ready for some birdies and a few eagles this weekend. And it will be on two courses. Historically, this event has had as many as three different courses in the rotation. This year, it's going to be three rounds at the Stadium course, and then one round at the Nicholas Tournament course at PGA
Okay.
West. And both of them are a little bit shorter than average, 7,100 yards and change. They're both par 72s, and the layout is a little bit different because the greens are much bigger at the Nicholas Tournament course. They average about 8,000 square feet. On the Stadium course, they only average about 5,000 square feet.
Yeah,
But
target golf.
target golf and scoring is low because wide fairways, rough isn't bad. It's not really penal. So we're talking 20 under par or better most likely will be the winning score.
Yeah, and on the course they play three times. There are four par fives, which allows those eagle scores, to really get that number down. So I mean, in doing the research, I know we both looked at a lot of stuff, but I would totally agree. Putts gained on the green is a big stat this week, and then scoring on the par fives. I think you're going to see people. We'll be putting the little eagle in Discord quite a bit, I think, Thursday through Sunday. But it should be a really good tournament. I like the fact that it's a complete full field. It gives us a good look. And it's, the field is pretty good. It's not like all the stars, but enough of them with a lot of course history that'll give us a good look at it. So excited to get into this with you. But of course, we have to do our weekly PGA quiz. And I looked at this one for a while because your record is like ludicrous. It's like 20-1 or some stupid thing. So here's the way we're going to do it this week. See if I can get you. I'm actually going to give you the quick rundown so our listeners can hear it as well. And it only takes me a few seconds here. I'm going to give you the top 20 favorite golfers in this event based on betus.com.pa odds as of right now. And I didn't post these in Discord because I didn't want you to cheat. So I waited. And then what I'm going to do is ask you to catch three of the next five, 21 through 25, before you miss three. So this
Okay.
is a little tester for you. We're going to see if you're sharp in the form yet or not. All right, Patrick Cantlay's the favorite at 1,100. Brooks Koepka at 17, Patrick Reed at 1,500, and then on down from here, Tony Finau, Sungjae Im, Scotty Scheffler, Matthew Wolff, Abraham Answer, Kevin Na, Ricky Fowler, Lanto Griffin, Russell Henry, Phil Mickelson, Mr. California trip there, Paul Casey, Cameron Champ, Adam Long, Charles Howe III, our man Patton Kazari, who we called last week, and he had a great tournament. Ryan Moore, Sam Burns, Emilio, I can't say his first name.
Emiliano Grillo.
Emiliano Grillo. Did you know he won his very first PGA event? Interesting stat on him. Brian Harmon and Zach Johnson at plus 5,500. So we're putting this kibosh squeeze on you here.
Did you mention Kevin Na?
I did.
Okay, just making sure.
He's plus 2,700 sandwich.
Big winner last week.
Abraham Answer and Ricky Fowler.
Okay.
All right. So here go your 5 guesses. I think I got you today. I'm going to go out on a limb, predict it.
You might. Did you mention Ryan Moore?
I did mention Ryan Moore. He's 17th.
Okay. How about a guy who was on our clipboard last week and was right there in contention in the top 10, Chris Kirk?
He is not there. Strike one.
Where is he?
I can look down the chart here. Oh, he's 27th.
Oh,
plus
my
6,000. Nice, close effort there.
Could be some value on him in the top 20, maybe top 20 bet.
Yeah, not bad.
How about your man and a guy I'm a big fan of as a Jayhawk, Gary Woodland?
No, I told you I had.
Where is
Gary? Get shut out. Where is Gary Woodland?
Major winner with no respect. Can't even make the top 25 in the odds.
I do not even see Gary Woodland on the board here. He's not in the stats. And for BetUS dog. Oh, I did. You know what? You're gonna punch yourself. He's 26th. That's why I didn't see him. He's one spot. It goes Woodland, then Kirk as 26, 27.
All right.
That's painful.
How about I can't remember if you said his name, but a guy with tremendous course history here, Adam Hadwin.
That is a winner, and I have him as one of my picks this week. His course history here is sick, and I'll tell you what, he's 22nd at plus 5,500. I may have to put a few nickels on that just for the heck of it.
Speaking of nickels, yeah, okay,
yeah.
My next guess is Eric Van Rooyen.
He didn't make it. You've lost. The
Wow.
string is over.
It's over. It hurts.
He's down at like 37 at plus 6,500. There's a bet for you, plus 20 or top 20.
Top 20, yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you the 5. Zach Johnson. Or no, I'm sorry. That was the last. Siwoo Kim. You got Adam Hadwin. Aaron Wise, who's not bad. Alex Noren, the old timer. And your buddy Cam Davis.
Okay.
So we got you.
You got me. 21 to 25. That was my weak spot this week.
20 and 2 of some sorts in that nature. All right, let's get to you and your breakdown. You are the guru, especially you're the best. And I think I put this on our Twitter and in our Discord that you were the best PGA DFS value guy in the industry, and I think I said on the planet even. So
I appreciate
you don't have much to live up to there.
No, that's nothing.
I'm sure your value guys won't feel jinxed or pressured whatsoever. So let's double reverse jinx that so you'll get the good results. But let's talk a little bit about the stats that you're breaking down here. I mentioned the 4 par 5s that I think are reachable by a lot of guys. And there's some guys I want to mention, but I want to let you do what everybody tunes in to listen to, which is your breakdown, some statistical talk, and how you think some of these guys or who's going to have an edge in the field this week.
Yeah, well, we'll work towards the value plays. And by the way, I saw your early picks here, the guys you like, and I saw a couple value plays in there. So I'm curious, and maybe those will be the key value plays this week.
I'm excited about it. I covered a few gems.
Yeah, once I started to research them, I was kind of enjoying the prospects of rostering them also. But one of the key stats I looked at this week was birdie or better conversion percentage after hitting the green in regulation. because
Okay,
we
so
talked about how
putting in essence almost.
it's putting in essence because
Yeah.
it is going to be a birdie fest. Who's going to be hot? Who are the better putters and who's putting well this year? So I looked at some of the rankings from last year and this year. Some of the
Hmm.
big names who show up on both lists: Patrick Reed, Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, and then some of the lesser known guys or the less expensive guys in DFS. Denny McCarthy is, known as a great putter, and he's right near the top last year. This year he hasn't been putting as well, so his results haven't been as good. Uh, Charlie Hoffman he's top 10 in that list last year, and he just came off a tied for 14th last week at the Sony. He's
Correct.
7,400 on DraftKings. Um, that's a guy I could roster. Bronson Burgoon.
Hmm.
Here's my first value play potentially. He's only 6,200 on
Wow.
DraftKings. He was top 20 in this stat last year, birdie or better conversion percentage. And last week he missed the cut at the Sony, but he was 3 under. So he missed it by one. And
Mm.
I always like guys in that spot where, they're frustrated, they're right there, and then they get a couple extra days to go practice at the next course and get ready.
Yeah.
Uh, he had a top 20 finish last fall, and I heard an interview from him after the round where he was really excited about his game. He'd made some minor adjustments, and guy with top 20 potential who can really get hot with the putter. He's only 6,200. I like him as a potential value play.
Okay.
And then Sunjay Im, he was up there in putting last year, and I was on him last week, and he just had an average week. But he's one of the guys with really good course history here. He's only played here twice, but he finished tied for 12th, and then last year tied for 10th.
Yeah.
So he's one of the higher price guys I'm looking at. And then a couple other putters to look at this year. Um, Guys who've been high up in that stat in 2021. Uh, should I steal one of your value picks?
Oh, you dog. That's okay. I don't know what I was thinking posting it in Discord in our coaches chat and letting you steal my thunder.
Why don't I turn it over to you? And
No, go ahead. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do it because here's the thing. I have two super value plays that are both under 6,700 or under on DraftKings. I'm going to save one for our members because I have a big story about it I want to put in there.
okay.
But so let's do this. Go ahead and you know uh, let us know which one you picked of my values that you like. That's the one I'll share. I'll save the story for the other one of the two.
Okay. I'm going to mention Anirban Lahiri
Yes.
because he's hot with the putter this
Yep.
year, and he played last week. He made the cut, not a high finish, but he did have a top. He finished 11th in Bermuda towards the
Yep.
end of last calendar year, and he's only 6,500.
I mean,
So
6,500. That's
he's
why
been making cuts.
he's made not just making cuts, making noise. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's making some
we're
noise.
talking about a guy that has a tied for sixth at your favorite Punta Cana, and
Mhm.
then we had a very respectable tied for 37th at Sanderson Farms. He's 11th at Bermuda and shoots 69, 65, 64, and then blew up on day four, which we can write off, and finished, made the cut and finished at Sony. So here's a guy that 5 for 5 made cuts. His average scoring so far this year is 69. He's got a top 10, and the guys can roll the putt, with the best of them. I think he's a super value pit play. And the other fellow that I have the story about is going to be a value play that's 6,700 or under that I'll share with our members in Discord. And if you want to tweet me directly or DM me, I can share with some other folks too. But I think there's a couple of value plays that help everything adjust into place. But I'm with you on Lahiri. I think he's a guy that I feel comfortable that can make the cut.
Excellent. Well, a couple other hot putters that I want to talk about our man Peter Malnati, who did not disappoint. He was one of our key 6K value plays last week, finished tied for
62 on
14th.
day one. Good
Oof,
Lord.
that was fun. He got off to a hot start. So he's high in that category. Tom Hoagie, here's another cheaper player. He's only 7,300 on DraftKings. And he's another one of the guys that missed the cut last week by one. And he had an opening round 65, and then he shot 72. So,
Mm.
he can go low. He has gone low recently. He finished tied for third at the Mayakoba toward the end of 2020. And then last year, he was tied for sixth in this event. So a lot of things feel pretty strong towards potentially playing him. How about our man, Steve Stricker? Okay, he's back. And
He
he
did
talk about
before,
just
so
showing
we
up.
rostered him
Yeah,
earlier in the year.
yeah. Say at that Mayakoba, he was tied for 17th. And like we said back then, he just shows up and makes cuts. Doesn't matter what event it is, PGA Tour, Champions Tour, if it's a major. I mean, he just doesn't bother showing up unless he plans to make the cut and be solid. And he's only
Right.
6,600. So I
Yeah.
like Stricker. I mean, talk about putters. He's one of the best putters of all
Of
time.
all times. Yeah.
So
You know,
those
you're
are the
the guy,
keys.
a guy you like often, Eric Van Rooyen, you mentioned him earlier, EVR. Do you know that he missed the cut last week at the Sony on the number? Just missed it. And
Did
he had two triple bogeys. How do you triple bogey at that course? And he did it twice and was on the number to miss the cut. So that's a guy, that's a red circle around a guy that is, just had a brain freeze there a couple times or would have done well. So another guy
I
to
do like
mention.
that.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I want to mention a couple things real quick too. Scotty Scheffler is one of my favorites. I play him all the time. And last year, and this was before he really blew up, he finished third here in his only time to play the course. And I mean, the way that guy rolls the ball, he's my very favorite this week of everybody. I just think this is the kind of field that's not too stacked that I think he can really take advantage of. And I feel about him like I did with Webb Simpson last year. It was like, this dude's a top 10 in this tournament, and I'm just going to forget about it. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm putting him in my lineups.
I support you. Yeah. He finished tied for 13th in the first event in Hawaii this year. And like you said, great memories from last year on this course. So I support that play. Another guy who had a high finish last year, Sam Burns, he was also tied for sixth, reasonable price. And he finished that tournament last year with a final round 63
Wow.
uh, on the course that they're going to play three times this week. The only asterisk for him is he hasn't played yet in 2021. So he's behind the eight ball there a little bit because a lot of these guys have played once or twice.
That's the wild card, that the variance piece of it. It's going to be a little tougher to handicap these. Although, like you said, we've been sort of hot, so we're doing something right. But until we get everybody playing 3, 4, 5 times at least this season, you can't really see everything. And then COVID's affected DFS more than anything in every sport. I mean, we don't know if these guys that have not played in the last 45 to 50 days, if they just stayed at home and not touched a club. Like, it's really bizarre. But did you hear, with Kevin Na this week? He took 2 months off, stayed at home with his kids, taught them in school teaching and all that, did not play. And he goes back out there. And for him, it was a refresher. He just came out relaxed. So, one thing to look at this next month even is some of the veterans that just put the clubs down for a while, that aren't the struggling younger guys trying to make the tour, make the money, but those guys coming back out and feeling refreshed. So there's a narrative there that we need to follow and watch as well. But then again, there's some of the guys that may need 2 or 3 weeks to get in the flow, to make a cut, to make a run, that haven't played. So I'll tell you, the COVID DFS season for all sports, it causes you to do a little bit different type of handicapping to figure out how everybody's going to do. I got to mention my one guy that you brought up earlier, and you guessed, you're one correct today. Adam Hadwin, the Canadian. Unbelievable. He's got a sixth, a second, a third, and another second. So he's got 4 top 6 finishes. He absolutely loves this course. He's definitely long enough off the tee. When he gets his putter hot, he rolls the ball well. I mean, just with that, background on this course, I mean, I don't know how you don't roster him. I mean, if you look at Hadwin, I'm going to look real quick because I was surprised with that kind of backdrop. He's only 8,000 on DraftKings, which is very fair. And then he's 98 on Fanduel, a little more expensive there. And then even if you're playing Yahoo, he's 22, I believe. So you've got some decent pricing on him. And I think from a consistency standpoint, it's hard not to put him on your lineup,
Yeah, the one thing with him is he's in that group of players who have not played in 2021.
True.
And he finished with a poor stretch at the end of 2020. He missed 3 cuts in a row. So that's, I think, where it balances out at that price. Because if it was just on course history, he'd probably be over 9,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. He's a wild card guy. I think he's going to be highly owned, though. And so I don't know if, maybe fading him in one of your lineups, if you're doing multiple lineups, isn't a bad idea based on what you just stated as well. But some of these guys, I mean, Hadwin's been around the tour for quite some time. So it's not like, he generally when they have a good course history, they'll play more toward that unless he has a physical issue or something of that nature. But, that should be interesting. The last guy I'll mention, Abraham Answer. I mean, he's got a second and an 18th here, and he's so darn good, man. He really is. And I think his price is fair. With the way he played last year, I expected him to be in the upper 9s. On DraftKings, he's 91. He is 10-9 on FanDuel. That's what I thought, he'd be closer to on DraftKings. But he is $40 on Yahoo. So, definitely DraftKings is where he's the best price. But that's another guy that I have pegged for a top 10 this week. What do you think about Answer?
He was going to be the last guy I was going to mention as well.
I stole your thunder.
Yeah, we're right on it. Yeah, he might as well just make it the third guy. He missed the cut by 1 last week also. So I was on him last week. Thought it was a perfect course for him. So let's see if we can just go back to the well here and get the top 10 finish we were looking for.
Beautiful. I have one more guy that is going to be. I have three guys that are my mortal locks. I'm playing on all builds. I'm saving that one guy. Also, I like to save a favorite guy and a value guy for our Discord. And I'm not trying to, tease the listeners out there, but, I want to keep the Coach Talk family, hot here. So I want to stay with a few of these picks that we're going to ride into the week with our members in Discord. So if you want to join us, dfscoachtalk.com, we have some fantastic offers right now. You can join from a week to a year. Check us out that way. Or you want to tell them about the 149 special?
Yeah. If you can go make your first deposit at betus.com.pa for $149 and use the promo code CoachTalk, then you're going to get to use that $149 at BetUS. So make a play on one of the golfers this week or use it in whatever sport you want. You also get a free membership with us all the way until April 1st. So it's our best offer ever. You save a bunch on the monthly and you get to use that money on BetUS. So it's a win-win situation. If you have any questions, just reach out to us on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk.
And if you want to go directly to us on Twitter, I'm at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. Andrew is at Language Olympic, and Shane is at DET Sports Shane. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, this is our one ask every podcast. Take a second, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little alarm button. That will give you an alert every time one of our podcasts posts. And we have NFL, PGA, and NBA podcast, NBA up 7 days a week in front of the paywall. And then, we'll eventually get into MLB pods as well. But yeah, definitely take a second to do that, please. And if you're listening to us audio-wise, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, take a second, iTunes 5 stars, give us a couple words there. Really, really appreciate that. And that helps keep the motor turning to get these podcasts out really just to everybody, even non-members. So we really do appreciate it. We're continuing to grow, and we thank you that listen on a weekly basis to us. And hopefully we get some momentum going here with golf since we've had some winners a couple of weeks in a row. Absolutely. All right. Do you have anything to wrap up on PGA? Anybody else you want to throw in there? Or no. We've hit them all? We've hit them all. We've hit the key ones. We'll finish out the clipboard in the next day or two. I know you're devastated from losing the quiz contest today. It's going to take you probably the rest of the day to rebound, but at least we're putting this out there on Tuesday. You have all the way until Thursday to tee off, so I'm sure by then you'll regroup and be ready for next week. Right on. I made it tough. I had to prepare ahead of time to make it tough for you. You got me. We got you. All right. Well, fantastic. We're going to wrap it up then. We really appreciate the golfers tuning in here and attacking PGA. We're with you every week. The pod drops on Tuesdays, so you have plenty of time to get those lineups together and in for Thursday. DM us, tweet us, whatever you need. We always respond. And again, we'd love to have you join us at dfscoachtalk.com. All right, for Mr. Andrew Hansen and the rest of the DFS Coach Talk team, I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. We will look to catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS.